Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the United Stand. I am here, Tanbridge, as some would like to call it. Yes, we are back with the morning show to talk all things latest Manchester United. Ollie Watkins is being rumoured to come and be linked with Manchester United. Obviously, David De Gea report came out as well that he might be possibly leaving. Lots of people have had their opinions come in on that. We'll also be talking about a potential keeper that's linked with Manchester United, and also the Mason Mount deal. What is going on? Quotes of 70 million, Manchester United not trying to go that far with the price tag. All is up for debate and all is up for talk this morning. So make sure you get in nice and early, get your super chats in, any questions that you have. Make sure you've got your drink as well. Get a cup of tea, cup of coffee, because there's lots to talk about this morning. Hope everybody is okay and well. Where should I start? You know what? I'm going to start off with talking about this David De Gea situation, because I know Charlie put out a tweet this morning and he was very successful in that tweet because he got me straight away in the morning. This question about David De Gea's legendary status. You know what? I don't like anyone questioning a player that has been here over a decade and someone who has had so much achievement, so many accolades, so many saves, just so many good memories with the club. How can you question a player like that? How? He's given you so many good memories. He's given you so many jaw-dropping saves. He's been such an integral part of this organization for so many years. Yes, he has not been the best keeper. Yes, there's clear faults in his performance. Yes, we want to go in a new direction. We want to upgrade. We want competition in each position. But that does not mean you can sit and celebrate a player leaving after such a long time. I mean, I didn't even do this with Phil Jones. Let's be honest. I know Phil Jones hasn't been an integral part of the squad for many years. He's had his own issues. The club has told him that now it's time for him to part ways and go and do whatever he wants with his personal life and career. And you know what? When someone is leaving, you want to let them go with a good spirit. You want to let them go with love and affection. Thank you very much for staying in this club. Thank you very much for giving me the good memories. Phil Jones has given me good memories. Why am I going to tarnish that and stamp my foot all over those moments by making silly comments? I don't understand. Why would you do that? Do you not love Manchester United? If you love Manchester United, you love everyone, including except for the Glazers. Except for the Glazers, you love the cleaners, the players, the people who work in the stalls, the security guard. I love everyone in Manchester United, absolutely everyone. I will say hello to any and everyone who's working in that club. End of story. You haven't done anything to me, and you are part of the club that I love and adore. And David De Gea, you know what? Thank you very much. One of these things I always say, right? Would you say this to the player's face? I'm sorry, but it might seem like I'm coming across a bit tough, but would you say this to the player's face? Do you know the players have friends and family who can see these comments? Thank you very much, Gavin, for the contribution nice and early this morning. Says the king has returned. I am no king. Absolutely, but thank you very much for the nice comment. I'm just normal fan like you, just a normal person like you. Without a shadow of a doubt, David De Gea is going to go down as a legend. Even this season, you could say this season has been his worst season, right? In this particular season, he has won a trophy. In this particular season, he has been a part of our squad to help us secure Champions League football. In this particular season, he has won the Golden Glove. The one accomplishment that the keeper could win. Players can win Ballon d'Ors, top goal scorer, Golden Boot, this, that, the other. And he's not even part of his international squad. But still, he has managed to secure the Golden Glove. I will never, ever, ever take anything away from David De Gea. All will be forgotten. But his trophies, his accolades, his saves will not be forgotten. His bad passes will be forgotten. His mistakes will be forgotten. All of this will be forgotten. But the accomplishments that he has achieved in this club will be on the shelves for years and years and rest of eternity. My children, your children, everybody else, the next generation will, when they go on tour on Manchester United, they will see there was once a great goalkeeper who played for Manchester United. His name was David De Gea. He signed during the Sir Alex era. He came a little skinny goalkeeper. He built himself. And you know what? He became one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And yes, it's time to move on. Sure, it's okay to move on. It's okay to accept to move on. We want to bring in a new goalkeeper. We want to play a new style of football. We want to see a different style, a different type of goalkeeper come in, commanding his box. And all of this stuff is good. But one thing you cannot do is disrespect a person when he's leaving. That's something absolutely you cannot do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, how you feel about this. I know I'm coming across maybe a bit strong, but that's just, yeah, honestly, that's just my feeling. I'm not going to be disrespecting a fantastic player when he's leaving. Thank you very much to Andy, who has stayed a member of United Stand for 49 months. Thank you very, very much. Says, thanks, David, you are a legend of the club, but we are moving in another direction. Yes, and that's perfectly fine. Guess what? The club hierarchy would have had a conversation with him. And do you think they will be saying, tears in my eyes? Do you think they will be saying, thank God someone is coming? No. No. Even when Phil Jones was leaving, they made him a nice frame as a parting gift. That's what you want to do. We want to show class as an organization. We want to show, love and affection to players who leave. Thank you very much, Slow Sports News, with your contribution as well, early morning. Says, if he does decide to go, then he should be given a proper sign-off. He's won us trophies. He's been with us through thick and thin and still proudly wears that shirt. 100%. Absolutely. Slow Sports News also says, let me see if I think there's one or two. No, that's just one. Thank you very much. Luke says, can't teach an old dog new tricks. Very true, you can't. He's not good with his feet, but one of the best at shot stopping. The disrespect shown has been unbelievable. You know, your dog gets old, but do you stop loving your dog? Let's say you have a golden retriever, and the golden retriever cannot do some things that a German Shepherd can. And you want a German Shepherd in your house now. But does that mean you stop loving the golden retriever? No, you don't. Absolutely not. He's still goofy. He still spills over drinks. He still does naughty stuff around the house. He still gives you a lot of headache. Still has an accident every so often. But guess what? It's your golden retriever. You still love that dog, right? You're going to go and get a German Shepherd, sure. But come on now, let's be honest with ourselves. Irvin, thank you very much for staying a member with the United Stand for 2 months. Irvin says, well said, Faz. I feel the same towards David De Gea. Why we don't say Sancho and more players are out after a bad season? Why do we do this to a legend? And you know, I want to know what you guys think. Is David De Gea a legend of the club? I really want to know what you like, especially for the people who may think he is not a legend. Why do you think that? What does he have to do? What could he have done to have become a legend in Manchester United? Has he not won trophies? Has he not had a major title? Has he not got golden gloves, player of the season? Numerous of them as well. So why would you question? He's got family who may see these things. He's got friends who may see these things. You know how much sacrifice goes in for a player to stay in a club for that long? For that long? And yes, he's the highest paid. And yes, maybe he's not the best for the income that the club give him. But guess what? It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. He earns his money rightfully so for the loyalty that he's shown to Manchester United and for the accolades that he's achieved. It's as simple as that. Thank you very much, Divnyash. Div says, I don't know what you're on about, mate, with this dog getting old analogy. This old dog just won the best dog competition. How is the German Shepherd any better? You got me there. It is true. No, but the reason why I say this is because people are still in a season where he's won the Golden Glove. People are still criticizing the aspects of his game that other goalkeepers are good in. That's why, you know, let's be honest. A golden retriever isn't going to do the same job as a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd. It's within the DNA. But you're right, he has had the number one accomplishment for a goalkeeper in amongst Edison, Allison, and Emi Martinez, all of these other keepers, World Cup winning goalkeeper who's in the Premier League couldn't compete with him. And yes, you could say our defense did a fantastic job, but guess what? Just like certain people say, David De Gea is only doing his job. He's only making a save. The defense did the same thing. They're only doing their job. They're supposed to be tackling, and they're supposed to be making sure the goalkeeper doesn't have to make, physics-defying saves all the time. But yeah, that's just my take on the David De Gea situation. I do think he's a legend. I do think he's going to go down as a legend of Manchester United. He will be remembered forever, but it's okay. It's okay for him to move on, and hopefully we can go and bring in the next keeper. One thing I'm not going to do, though, is say the next keeper is going to be generational straight away. The next goalkeeper has big gloves to fill. Big gloves to fill. We still want to see great saves, by the way. A new goalkeeper could play fantastic with his feet, could be dropping shoulders on strikers, but guess what? He still has to make great saves, and that's something that's obviously part and parcel of his job. That's the number one thing he has to do. 90% of the people think David De Gea is a Manchester United legend. Only what is it? Only 4%? No, how many percent? I didn't even see it. But yeah, majority of the people think he's going to be a legend. So that's good. That's good. Moving on quickly and swiftly, let's talk about this Ollie Watkins rumour that's been going around. Again, I'd love to know if you guys think Ollie Watkins is someone that we should be looking at. I personally think Ollie Watkins is a very good striker. Is he Manchester United level? Well, I don't think so yet. I don't think so yet. He's had, double-digit goals. I think he scored 16 goals this last season gone. And I think he's just shy of 10 assists. I think he's at 6 or 7 assists as well in all competition. His press is really good. An abundance of energy as well. He's 27 years old. Lots of attributes that he could bring to our forward line. But I think there's still other strikers in today's market that we could go and get. What would be his price tag? You're looking at around, 40, 50, 60 million. If you think for that price tag, you're getting someone who's in the Premier League, sure. There's this quote of Premier League proven that could be attached to Ollie Watkins, but still, I think we should be looking at a striker that we can develop and nurture into a world-class striker. Can Ollie Watkins become a world-class striker under Erik ten Hag is the main question. A lot of people will say, okay, this is just a rumor, this is just a smokescreen, and I also agree. I do think it's just a rumor. I don't think this will be something that Man United target. It almost feels like a C option, like the third option or the fourth option, because Harry Kane, Victor Osimhen, Holjund, there's Gonçalo Ramos, there's Vlahovic, there's top strikers in today's market that you can go and get. And, Chelsea are going and linking in with strikers. They go in and getting Nkunku as well. And we need to be competing with these lot. Do you think Ollie Watkins can give you 25 goals in a season in a Manchester United squad? Let's be honest. He scored 16 goals with Villa this season in all comps. Could he push that to 25 in Manchester United? I don't see it happening. I'll be very honest. I do not see it happening. I think it would still make sense if you're paying that much money for a striker to go and get someone like a Harry Kane or a Victor Osimhen. You want to be almost guaranteeing yourself 25 goals for you to be going from third to second in the Premier League. Because I don't want to stay third next season. I want to push for second. And then the season after, I want to push for a title. Maybe next season we can push for a title if the transfer window goes well, if we can get rid of some players. But where and how would you fit Ollie Watkins into this squad? He's not the best, and he's not the most clinical striker in the world. He's a decent forward. He's still got loads to prove in the Premier League in comparison to some other strikers that I'm comparing him to. And I think, like I say, it's again the price tag. If he was 30, 40 million, I would understand. Okay, you know what? Cool. 27 years old, has played in the Premier League, about 40 million. Let's go and get him. And let's see how it works. Because if Ollie Watkins doesn't perform to the level where we expect him to, he could still end up being a 40 million pound, 50 million pound player afterwards, right? So yeah, that's just how I look at it. Aussie Devil says, bring me Rasmus for long term. Thank you very much for your contribution. LA Dodger says, thank you, Faz. Dave has been great. Thank you very much for staying a member for 40 months on the United Stand as well. Yeah, I think I would much rather prefer Rasmus Hojlund. You want to get a look in 3 years' time. Where would we be? We don't know. In 3 years' time, when Ollie Watkins is turning 30, there'll be new strikers on the market. There'll be loads can happen in three years, and loads can happen in 1 year. But what's more important is how Erik ten Hag and Benny McCarthy can mold a striker. Do you think Ollie Watkins still has attributes that he can improve? Sure, you can always improve, right? But do you think there's a ceiling that he can surpass? He's not 22, 23 years old. Rasmus Hojlund is 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's got an absolute loads he can learn. And what's to say we can bring Rasmus Hojlund in and then bring in another striker next season as well? Because, by the way, we do need 2 strikers, not 1. Let's be honest here. We don't, Weghorst is not going to be staying in Manchester United. I hope so anyways. And then there's Anthony Martial as well, who might not be staying in Manchester United if a club comes in. And I hope so anyway. So there'll be 2 positions to fill. And if Rasmus is going to cost us 50 million or something around those lines, and then maybe, okay, you want to go and get Ollie Watkins as well. But it's important to understand we do need 2 strikers, not just 1. Lots of people are saying, bring, like Jane says, bring Harry Kane next year for free. That's something I spoke about a couple of shows ago. And I said, look, yeah, let's go and bring Kane in for free. And that would be good business. Harry Kane becomes free next season. And what's to say Harry Kane doesn't want to come to Manchester United or to a Premier League club to go and smash his record? Hopefully, he'll be a bit closer to that Premier League all-time goal scoring record. If he stays in Spurs, I'm presuming he's going to get 20 goals, That's within him easily. And he's done that season in, season out. Regan says, Faz, you legend. Great work. Random thought. Ivan Toney, while he's suspended, is a fantastic prospect for us. We like a bad boy forward. I understand what you mean by the quote bad boy, but that Ivan Toney situation needs to be clarified. He needs to complete his suspension and then come into the Premier League. I don't think it'll be something that we entertain, let's be honest. As an organisation, you don't want to be going in for a player that's currently on suspension as well, and he's going to be missing a good few months just in general. So you want to be bringing in a striker that's going to play in your preseason games, that you can start finding out how you can implement the other wingers to play off the striker, what formation you want to play. Obviously, it comes in the question about a goalkeeper as well. If David De Gea, as per the report says, that David De Gea is going to be leaving this summer, there's, I think, 14 days, Charlie, if I'm not mistaken, 13 days left for him to put pen to paper, and he hasn't done so yet. If he leaves, ball-playing goalkeeper, maybe a midfielder in there as well with, sorting out the Mason Mount deal, then you can say, right, okay, we now have a decent enough spine. But yeah, Ivan Toney, I don't think I'd be willing to entertain that right now. Aussie Devil, thank you very much for the contribution, says this window will be hard. Hopefully, Qatar own the club by August, then January next summer will when we get really going. Keep the faith in Erik ten Hag. Of course, we have faith in Erik ten Hag. I think Erik ten Hag can do fantastic things. He put Wout Weghorst in a 10, and nobody ever in a million years would have predicted that. But it's important to equip Erik ten Hag to go from 3rd to 2nd. It's important to equip Erik ten Hag to go and be able to win the Carabao Cup next season again. It's important to go and see how we can go from a 2-1, turn that into a 3-2 in the FA Cup final. How do we go to that next level? These are the type of players I'm looking for. These are the type of players we want in Manchester United. Zeno says, Ollie Watkins is decent finisher, 40-50, get him. Decent is not good enough for Manchester United, I'll be honest. I appreciate your contribution and I appreciate your opinion, but my thing is, my mindset is, good is not good enough. This is Erik ten Hag's words, not mine. Let's be honest. This is Erik ten Hag's own words. Why are we looking for good strikers? Why? Why are we looking for good players? It's not good enough. We want the best. That's what we want. We want the best players. If the Qataris come in, 100% I'd be looking for Mbappe because we will have the money. Obviously, may not be this season because of FFP, but maybe next season. Of course, we want the next Jamal Musialas. We want the next Bellinghams. That's what we want. We want the best of the best. Do Real Madrid go and think they're going to get good players? Do you think Man City will be looking at good players? Oh, he's a good player. Let's go and get him. Oh, he's a decent player. Let's go and get him. No, 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 no. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the Ollie Watkins situation. I don't think he's the best striker that we can go and get. This Rasmus Hojlund situation as well. There's been a little tweet and quote that's come out that his price tag may actually not be what we thought. As per Laurie Whitwell, Rasmus Hojlund's agent held talks with Atalanta this week, and we're told that his fee would be 100 million euros, far above the 47 million euro mark that had been anticipated. Further discussions are expected ahead, but Manchester United will not bid close to that amount, and I'm glad Manchester United will not be bidding close to that amount, because that would be absolutely ludicrous. 100 million euros, and this almost seems like another situation where we are being taken for idiots in the transfer market, because we're linked with a player. As per the reports, Mark said it on a show himself that an agent has told him that Manchester United are telling clubs that they're interested. Well, if you're interested in me, when are you going to ask me out on a date? Stop telling me you're interested in me. Ask me out on a date. Take me on dinner. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. What do you want in this relationship? What's all this interest FC? I want to know. I want this player. This is the price tag I'm willing to pay. This is the project I'm willing to build. What's your expectation? Let's meet halfway. Can you meet me halfway? And let's make the deal happen. What's all this interest FC every day? Interest in Mason Mount. Interested in Holjund. Interest in Kim Min-jae. Interested in Onana. I'm tired of... What's interest? You've got some matches, right? You swiped right. You've got some matches. Slide in the DMs. Slide in the DMs. And let's fix a date. Let's go on a date. Let's have a meal. And let's get to business. McElvis, thank you very much for staying a member for 13 months. Says, if Atalanta are going to play this ridiculous game, you can see this deal dragging on throughout the summer, unless the player starts demanding the move. I mean, obviously, the players come out and had a little, comment as well, saying he would like to come to Manchester United and he wants to play in a big club, right? Just like Anthony did as well. When Anthony wanted his move, he went public with it, and Fabrizio came through and delivered to us the news. Aussie Devil says, would you bring Sabitzer as a cheap option to help out Casemiro? Showed flashes in his short stint, and a full preseason under Erik ten Hag, in my opinion, help him. Sabitzer is an interesting one, I'll be very honest, because I don't know where I stand with him. Part of me wants to keep him. I'll be very honest. Part of me does. But then part of me thinks for 40, 50 million, again, for a 30-year-old player, if I'm not mistaken, he's 30 years old, should we be paying that money for when we're going from third to second? No way can we be coming fourth next season. No. You want to improve on your achievements this season. And yes, we have had fantastic achievements. If we can come third with Marcel Sabitzer and Wout Weghorst coming in on loan in the dying moments of the January transfer window, then what could we do if we spent that 50 million in some savvy business and go and get in a decent midfielder? A midfielder that can increase our, possession-based football style. A midfielder that can grow over 2 years, that can add value over 2 years. Now, if Sabitzer was free, this would be a totally different conversation. Just like Rabiot. If you're free, I'll never say no to free things. If someone's taking me on a date and saying they want to pay for everything, who's going to say no? So yeah, if Sabitzer was free, it's a different conversation. But for 40, 50 million, no, I'll be honest, no. I don't think it's worth the money. And don't forget, this Mason Mount deal is going to cost us a pretty penny. The striker is going to cost us a pretty penny, depending if we get two. Then there's the goalkeeper as well. Then there's Kim Min-jae as well. That's 4 or 5 players. And on top of that, where are you going to find another 50 million? We're still struggling with trying to figure out how we can let go of Harry Maguire. We're still struggling in trying to figure out who's going to try and buy Anthony Martial. Scott McTominay and Fred, are they both going to stay? You know, Lindelof, is he going to stay? There's players that we need to figure out that we need to sell. There's Brandon Williams. Is he going to be staying? Can we sell him? So yeah, we need to be thinking smart and savvy. Jay Steadman, thank you very much for becoming a member of the United Stand. Welcome to the members only club. So yeah, Sabitzer, good comment, but I don't know. Let's get in Rabiot for free. No money spent, and give him a decent contract and get out 2 seasons out of him. He's had a good season, and we can use him. But 100 million for Rasmus Hojlund is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? Manchester United need to learn to walk away from deals. When you go to, you know, the art of haggling, people do not understand how much good business you can do from haggling. Me personally, I ask for a discount everywhere I go. Do you have any discounts available? Maybe sometimes I use my charm. If it lands well, I might get 20% off. But guess what? Because I didn't ask, maybe I wouldn't have got that 20% off. But you should always try and haggle and make it look like, you know what, thank you very much, I'm not interested, I'll go and check elsewhere. You know what, thank you very much, I'll think about it, I'll come back. And if nobody is entertaining Mason Mount, eventually the price tag will come down. They will come down. You know that the person wants to sell. So why are you not willing to walk away? Right? Just walk away. There's this conversation about Arsenal being linked as well. But let's be honest, who's more likely to win a negotiation with Chelsea between Manchester United and Arsenal? It's going to be Manchester United. The player's going to prefer to come to Manchester United. We've got a better project. Mr. 93% of the time top of Premier League. What did they achieve last season? Did they get into any finals? Did they get into any semi-finals? No. And let's be honest, what they're going to do in Europe next season? Do you think Arsenal can go and challenge in the Champions League and go into the semi-final next year? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Zeno says, incompetence transfer worries me. No signing yet. I understand the incompetence, comment. I do get it. It's okay to take time in a deal, right? Look, deals can take time, and guess what? It's okay. Sometimes you want to do quick business like Liverpool have just done with McAllister, Chelsea are doing. But what doesn't make sense is one day Rasmus Hojlund is 40, 50 million. And the next day a report comes out from Ollie Watkins that Atalanta, they've thrown around the number of 100 million. So if we have been speaking for a few weeks, how come we went from 50 million to 100 million? Like, where did it go? It's like you go on a date and the person finds out that you've won the lottery or you've got a load of cash. So they now start saying, well, if you want to go on a second date, you have to buy me a Chanel bag. Well, you didn't say this the first date. So in the second date, why are you asking for a Chanel bag? Just because you found out that I came in a Lamborghini to the date, or I came in a nice car, M5 or something, you know I have money. So now you want to ask for a bag? No. This is something we can't do. We have to learn to walk away, even though we want the player, and then come back later on if nobody's interested, because I promise you the price tag will go down. I promise you that Mason Mount's price tag will go down. This thing about Chelsea 70 million is absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Moving on to some of the other quotes that have come out. Laurie Whitwell has also said, Erik ten Hag has a mantra when it comes to Manchester United's search for a striker, a no risk. He repeats to those who ask about the qualities he desires in a new centre forward. What do you guys think about this no risk mantra of Erik ten Hag? What do you think it actually means? Because I don't know what to think of it. No risk striker. What does that, like, no risk? Does this mean he doesn't want to take risks when it comes to buying a striker? Does that mean he wants the best only? Does this mean he wants someone who can guarantee you 25, 30 goals? What does this no risk mean? Or Does this mean no risk, as in just go for the list that I've given you? I've given you either Harry Kane or Osimhen, and go and get me one of them. Is that what it means? Um, I don't really know. No risk would mean Harry Kane, right? Because Harry Kane is probably the least riskiest striker that you could buy right now. Every season, he puts on numbers on the board, double digits every season, 30 goals this season alone, competing against Haaland. Last season, 20 goals, numerous personal achievements, numerous golden boots, internationally as well. That sounds like a no risk to me. That sounds like £100 million money well spent striker for me. Aging, injury, all of this stuff, I don't pay attention, because at the end of the day, he's a striker. Strikers can play up to 34, 35 at very good level with good maintenance. And we all know strikers mature as they grow older, and they become more clinical, right? So that's what sounds like no risk to me. Dolan says David De Gea, best player in our last 10 years. Don't know about best player, but he certainly has been in many of those years. That's true, because the accolades speak for themselves. The consistency speaks for themselves. The saves speak for themselves as well. He has been top class, but he has also made mistakes. Like I say, um, we do want to be avoiding those mistakes, but what cost and what price do these replacements come at? You could go and get Onana. You could go. What's to say? Onana comes into Manchester United, and let's say he's playing with his feet and he makes a mistake, but he comes out of his box to claim crosses. He punches the ball in the air. He saves good penalties. But what's to say in a moment when we need a goal, or in a moment when we're drawing, and he makes a mistake whilst trying to make a pass, and he misjudges a pass, and we concede, and we lose the game, right? I wouldn't mind Onana though. I think Onana is a good keeper. He's a top keeper. You saw that in the Champions League final. Moving on quickly and swiftly. Xavi has said some comments on Sheikh Jassim. He said, I have a good relationship with the person interested in buying the club. He's a serious person, and I'm sure he'd do a good job. I know him so well. He's a very good person with responsibility. It would be a very good option for Manchester United. Xavi, with all due respect, I know you're broke. Your club is, anyways, not you. I know Barcelona are broke. So stop trying to butter up Sheikh Jassim. Please leave our future owner alone, and continue hosting weddings in Camp Nou. But yeah, that's what Xavi had to say. I don't really know what to take from that, to be honest, because he better talk nice about our club. Anyways, we knocked him out of the Europa League. Chris Wheeler has also come out on David De Gea and said the framework of the new deal to reduce David De Gea's current salary was agreed some time ago. We know this already, agreement in principle was in place with David De Gea. I think it was around 250 that he was going to go down to, or 200 and odd a week that he was going to go down to. But Erik ten Hag is unconvinced about keeping him as number one and would rather sign a new first choice keeper. And, Erik ten Hag has said himself, right, there needs to be competition in every position. There needs to be competition in every position, and players need to be competing for their spot. David De Gea doesn't have competition in his spot. And as much as, yes, David De Gea needs replacing, I'm still okay with David De Gea staying, but as a number two, because we can get a keeper that can compete for their position as well. Unless you're a world-class player who come in and yes, he's starting. Even Casemiro needed time to adjust a little bit to Manchester United. He didn't start straight away. And I remember when Casemiro came into Manchester United, there were certain fans who were saying, oh, he's in bench because Scott McTominay is better. Well, no. Players need to compete. They need to get up to speed with the team. They need to gel and integrate themselves into the squad, and then they can start playing. So you can get rid of David De Gea. Couple of other, another keeper has left as well from Manchester United. and another keeper is being looked to be sold as well. So you would need to understand, if David De Gea goes now, we need a few keepers actually, not just one. Again, that's another thing. If David De Gea stays, you're going to be putting 250 for a player who stays in bench. Have we done this already? Yes, we have. There's been players who've been injured and made, been paid loads of money whilst injury. But is David De Gea a bad option as a second choice keeper? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I don't think so, actually. I really don't. I think David De Gea as a second choice isn't bad. Thank you very much to Rahul with your contribution. Says Atalanta's head of senior recruitment is Lee Congerton, who United dealt with during negotiations for Maguire with Leicester. I didn't know that. And thank you very much, because that's upset me. We have been scammed by this person before. And I hope we don't get scammed again. That does not make me happy at all. Thank you very much for the contribution and the comment. But you've now injected a whole lot of fear and PTSD into me now. So thank you, Rahul. Thank you for that. Didn't really need to know that. I think the only positive thing that we can think of is they'll be part of the same agency as Erik ten Hag. So hoping that would play some part in making this deal happen smoothly. But yeah, I don't know how that makes me feel. Kind of makes me feel dizzy. Sky reports Chelsea are considered totally excluded from a deal for Andre Onana after meetings with Inter Milan in London. Manchester United have an important liking for the goalkeeper. Inter will not negotiate lower than 50 million euros. And I think 50 million euros for Andre Onana is very, very good price. Absolutely very good price. And the other reason why I actually like Onana so much more than other keepers anyways is because he's been a part of Erik ten Hag's system before. This is very important for a manager to be able to work with players that he's worked with before, especially if he's a good player, especially if he's a top player. And Erik ten Hag has had some really positive things to say about Onana before. I don't remember the actual quote that he says. Did he say he was a masterful goalkeeper, right? I think that's what he said. That's what he's labelled Onana as, a masterful goalkeeper. Well, if he's a masterful goalkeeper, it would make sense to go and bring someone like that into Manchester United so that they could rekindle their relationship and they could start from where they left off within Ajax. So that would be my number one goalkeeper, to be honest. There's the Costas, there's the Ryers, there's the Mike Magnan, there's Emi Martinez, there's all these other top goalkeepers that you can go and get. But why wouldn't you get a goalkeeper that's worked with your manager before and the manager has had positive things to say about that goalkeeper, right? Why wouldn't you? But Chelsea are totally excluded. They won't be interested in Onana, and that's good news for us. I think 50 million, if that's what's quoted, again, don't go and pay the 50. Start off at 30. Put in some add-ons in there. Try and say, if we secure this, if we win this, you'll get a couple of million here and there. There's all these ways you can do these deals. And obviously, we will save a lot of money if David De Gea left in terms of wage structure as well. And Andre Onana won't be the highest paid keeper in the world. And, it would make a good sense to get him around 40 million. That would be a really good business. Really, really good business. Let me know what you think of this 50 million quote for Onana. Do you think it's fair? Do you think we should be negotiating that, or we should be going ahead and paying that? Scott, thank you very much for staying a member for 32 months in the United stand. Says, big up Faz, great job. Thank you very much for the kind comment. I appreciate that. Some people are saying 50 million is okay. Yeah, 50 million, pay the 50. This lowballing never works for us. But if it never works because we never try it. We can't haggle. You have to be able to, like I say, walk away from deals. Onana, sure, fantastic keeper. My number one, I would say, okay. But that doesn't mean that's the only keeper you want to target. Mason Mount isn't the only player you want to target. Go and make it look like you're walking away. The moment you start doing that, I know, yes, you might lose a player if you do this method. But guess what? You keep your integrity in the market. You keep respecting the market. That Manchester United are not a club that you just doss about with. Manchester United are not that club that you just throw any number and it works. with Ajax, we took their manager, we wanted their best players in the same season. And that's why, and obviously Arnold and Mertz didn't do their work well, so they ended up having to overpay. But one of the players that we overpaid for ended up living up to the price tag and actually surpassing it. Lisandro Martinez. Anthony, can he surpass the 100 million mark? I doubt that, but I hope so. He's still very young, so he could. Robinson, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, so you love the Glazers? No, I did clarify this before, that I love everyone in Manchester United except the Glazers. So yeah, don't put words in my mouth. Oh, Zain Miyasi is here. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Zain. Firstly, hope you're well. I know you're already preparing and thinking about next season, aren't you? Ramsdale levels above those goalkeeper, now worth 90 million. Ramsdale was doing gymnastics in front of the goal this season, don't forget. Do I have to remind you when he was doing high jump and long jump, trying to save the goal, trying to save a chip ball going into the net? What happened when Rashford peppered Ramsdale as well? What was he doing then? 90 million. Where was the 90 million when Rashford sent Partey for a chicken and chips with ketchup and mayonnaise? And then he peppered the ball into the goal. Where was Ramsdale then? Please, Zayn, I'll be very honest. Don't try this 90 million with me. But good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the sale. Laurie Whitwell says, as the sale talks drag on, Manchester United have to abide by budgets set by the Glazers. And even in the event of a takeover, there are financial fair play considerations. Laurie Whitwell says, it was interesting in the forum the other day when the news broke about this incorporation. And obviously, we all got giddy and excited. Giddy FC, here we go. Rightly so, by the way, rightly so. And then it just started going back and forth. Journalists started coming out saying this is normal, this has been planned months ago, blah, blah, blah. Don't, get too excited just yet. And then there was talks about exclusivity with Qatar. Then there was talks about, okay, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has to fully pull out, and then you'll be able to consider, exclusivity with the Glazers. It's a mix. It's a mix. I don't know how I feel. I still think it will be Qatar. I still think it will be Sheikh Jassim who secures the club. But I don't like all this going back and forth. How much more time do these Glazers need? They keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. They know who they want. Deep down inside, they know who they want. So why delay it anymore? What else are you going to achieve? Just announce the news. Even if the paperwork takes time. Just take this burden off my shoulders and from millions of people across the world. Well, actually, 1.1 billion people or something like that who support Manchester United. Take this burden out of all of us, and just announce the goddamn news. Sir Jim has been silent for weeks. No media reports about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Everything is about Qatar this, Qatar that, Qatar this, Qatar that, incorporation this. PSG's head, Al Khalifi, has come out to talk to the Glazers, trying to make this deal happen. Sheikh Jassim is tired. He's put his foot down. All of this stuff. Every day we find a little bit more information, a little bit. It's like slow drip news with this takeover. And I just want it to be once and for all over. That's all we once and for all. Just announce the news that you're going for Qatar. And all the due diligence, do it how you want it. Take your time, no problem. Paperwork, fax machine. I know the fax machine in our office doesn't work. So it might need to be, I don't know, OneDrive or something. But take your time. Just announce the news for now, please. Just too much slow news. Another one from Laurie Whitwell says, any prospect of a move for Kylian Mbappe has also been ruled out. Oh, man. Well, it's been ruled out for now. Maybe if the Qataris come in. Yes, there's financial fair play, but I've said this before on the forum a few days ago. I said, look, was it a few days ago? Yeah, a few days ago. I said, there's all these loopholes. Look, rules are rules. You play by the rules. But they're not meant to be broken, but there's loopholes. There's always loopholes. If Todd Bowley, OnlyFans FC, can find loopholes, then why can't Manchester United find loopholes? They've put Mudryk on a lifetime deal. For the rest of his life, he's going to be signed to Chelsea. I'm not saying do that with Kylian Mbappe, but I'm sure there's loopholes there to exploit and figure out. 100%. 100%. I would love Kylian Mbappe though. I think if the Qataris come in, there would be a high possibility of being able to secure those sorts of players. Maybe not this season, sure. But next season, Kylian is free and he isn't going to extend. So how does that work? PSG need to sell him. If our budget is 250, right, and we need to be bringing in players on a 5-year deal, I would actually say blow the budget on Kylian Mbappe and then find some savvy deals and go and get your goalkeeper. If you buy Kylian Mbappe, let's say 150, right? 150. A keeper for 45. You've still got 55 million there. And then somehow manage to get rid of Anthony Martial. Thank you very much for your services. Some way, figure out a way to sell Harry Maguire. Thank you very much for your services. Brandon Williams. Another 30, 40 million from some other sales. You can go and make it happen. The numbers add up. It's actually not unachievable. It's actually not. So yeah, I think many crazier things have happened in football. Just because we're ruled out now doesn't mean it's not possible. Loads of quotes from Laurie Whitwell as well. There was another one about Harry Kane. Though disappointed, Ten Hag accepts the situation with Harry Kane. So that's an interesting one. Before I read the rest of the quote, though disappointed, Ten Hag accepts the situation with Harry Kane. So clearly that no risk quote of Eric Ten Hag, that mantra of his, that no risk mantra, it must mean that he wants a striker that's not a risky signing. He doesn't want risky signings. He wants signings that he knows is going to work in his system, that's going to be part of his plan, the vision that he's got for Manchester United. That's no risk, and Harry Kane is a no risk, but he's accepted the situation with Harry Kane. Manchester United now hope that Kane does not go elsewhere before his contract expires next summer. His preference is to stay in England. There you go. Laurie Whitwell, thank you very much for that. I said this. I said Harry Kane would prefer to stay in England, and some people didn't like my comment. Why wouldn't you want to stay in England? You can go and become the GOAT of Premier League for decades and decades. La Liga doesn't even compare to that status. Zain Miasi with another super chat. Thank you very much, Zain. Says more chance of Kylian joining more chance of Kylian joining Arsenal as he wants to follow in Henry's steps and he prefers London. The only good thing about Arsenal that I can think of is possibly the rooftop bars in London. Other than that, there's not really much, is there? Or maybe the chicken shops nearby. They have some good fried chicken and chips. Other than that, I don't think Kylian Mbappe will want to come to Arsenal. I'll be very honest. There's not really much. There's the Selfridges, there's a Harrods, there's some chicken and chips and some rooftop bars. Other than that, how are you gonna sway Kylian Mbappe? Let's be honest here. When was the last time you had a European title? When was the last time you were in a cup final? Mr. 93% top of the league. That's what I call you. I mean, the best thing about Arsenal is the T-shirts that some people printed at Christmas time saying top of the league. Is that what you're going to give Kylian Mbappe at Christmas? Top of the league. Is that you're going to print that on a shirt? Come on, Zayn. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious. Manchester is the place to go for Kylian. Manchester United has the heritage. You know, Manchester United are the club that's desirable now. We're in Champions League. We have the best manager. 2 finals we've been in. One we've won. One we just fell short. We're in the Champions League, and we have more chance of going further in Champions League than Arsenal. Nobody, and I'm definitely not going to be arguing with an Arsenal fan because it's not argument worthy. No, it's not argument worthy. Thank you very much for your contribution, though. I really appreciate you. But this thing about he wants to come to London, London is 2 hours on a train from Manchester. Yeah. Zayn, again, with the super chat, says, one word, invincible. And invincible is what Arsenal is to Kylian Mbappe. Invincible. Invisible. Not invincible, invisible. Arsenal is if Arsenal rang Mbappe, I think Mbappe would just do this. God damn it. I do not think. Please, don't even entertain this, Zayn, please. But yeah, that's pretty much all the latest topics for this morning. I hope that Manchester United make some signings soon. The Mason Mount deal is going back and forth all the time, and this Rasmus Hojlund news with Rahul's super chat as well has upset me a little bit that it's the same person as the Harry Maguire deal that we're negotiating with. I don't know how I feel. I need some water to calm me down after that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All the news. Charlie, what have we got going on today? Well, there'll be lots of news coming out for sure on the United stand. Charlie has told me that there'll be other things that'll come out throughout the day. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you like it for Zayn Miasi. Actually, not for me. Make sure you like the stream for Zayn Miasi and his dream of Kylian Mbappe coming to London and playing for Arsenal and having chicken and chips on a rooftop bar somewhere. Like the stream for that. But it's been nice to talk to you all. I hope Manchester United make some signings. I hope this takeover stuff gets dealt with soon. Hopefully, if there's any more news, we will be sure to bring you that on this channel. But thank you all for staying with me. Take care. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. And I'm out, people. Peace.